Welcome to AETCM, the emergency medicine channel. Today we are discussing about insulins and types of insulins and their uses in clinical practice. Basically, there are three major types of insulins. One is fast-acting insulin, other one is intermediate-acting insulin, and third one is long-acting insulin. Fast-acting insulin is absorbed quickly from the body fat tissue into the bloodstream. It is mainly used to control the postprandial blood sugar. So it acts immediately, and the duration is not so lengthy. It may act only for 6 hours. So there are different types of fast-acting insulin: insulin aspart, insulin lispro, insulin glucin, and regular insulin. They are not analog insulin. Regular human insulin and analog insulins. An intermediate acting insulin means it acts little more time. It is mainly called as NPH type of insulin, or any pre-mixed insulin like a fast acting insulin with intermediate acting insulin will become again an intermediate acting insulin. The third one is long acting insulin. Long acting insulin may act for 12 to 24 hours. That is basically it's called as basal bolus insulin. These insulins continuously act for 24 hours. It will not have any peaks of action. Mainly these type of insulins are under insulin analogs. Insulin analog means an artificially generated insulin. So insulin glargine and insulin detimer are the major important insulins coming under this class. Now we'll see the major features of different types of insulin. Short-acting insulins always act for a duration of 3 to 4 hours, maximum 6 hours, but they start acting immediately. The major insulin in that group is regular insulin, the widely used regular human insulin. Human insulin onset is 0.5 to 1 hour, and its peak action is 2 to 3 hours. Maximum duration of action is 3 to 6 hours. So you can see this chart, all different types of insulin, onset, peak, duration, everything is given. In that again in short acting insulin we have two analog insulin, lispro and aspart. See, these insulins, analog insulin means they are artificially generated. The problem of human insulin is long-term use can produce antibodies against insulin, and the insulin dose requirement can be very high when we are using regular insulins. These analog insulins are artificially generated. They are not human insulins, but the composition of the insulin may be similar to human insulin. So the antibody production may not be there against this type of insulin. So there will not be any neutralization of insulin by these antibodies. In that, lispro and aspart is there, short-acting insulin. Now if you take intermediate acting insulin, the major insulin in that group is NPH. This is normal insulin. What we are getting, NPH is the commonly available insulin is NPH, but there are some analog insulins in that group. They also can produce long-acting insulin. When we are mixing NPH insulin with a short-acting insulin, again that also will become a intermediate insulin. Now long-acting insulins are otherwise called as basal bolus. They will not produce any peaks. So it slowly acts in the human body. It remains for 24 to 26 hours, sometimes even more than that, but they never produce peaks. So hypoglycemic episodes are not very common with this type of insulin. So these are the different types of insulin available in our country. Now we can see from this chart the actions of this insulin. So peak, duration, all are explained in this chart. And one more important thing, clinical clue you should know from this chart, that if it's a rapid acting insulin, that will be a clear solution. If it is a long acting or intermediate acting insulin like NPH or mix of NPH, it will be cloudy, milky solution. Long acting insulin, again they may be clear. So that clinical difference you should understand, because when we are getting an insulin bottle, we should know what type of insulin it is. If it is a clear solution, Mostly if it is a human insulin, mostly it is regular insulin. Cloudy solution, it will be a long acting insulin. Now if you see the insulin regimens, there are different types of regimens available, but pre-mixed insulin regimens are always used, or always commonly used in our country, because they are easy to use. We have 30-70, 25-75, 50-50. 30-70 means 30 short acting, 70 long acting. 25-75 means 25% is short acting, 75% is long acting. 50-50 means 50 short acting, 50 long acting. 50-50 is very important in high postprandial blood sugar patients. Somebody is having high postprandial blood sugar, 50-50 insulins are better than 30-70 or 25-75. So when we have a 30-70 insulin, that means 30% regular acting insulin, 70% NPH or any other long acting insulin. Now depending on the clinician's experience, the dose should be determined. Each patient will have different types of insulin need or requirement, and depending on the clinician's experience, different types of insulins will be selected. Whatever it may be, we have multiple types of insulin. Either you can give regular insulin 3 to 4 times in a day, or we can give long acting insulin or a mixed type of insulin, like one part will be regular, one part will be long acting. That can be given in BD dose, morning and evening. If you are giving only ultra long acting insulins, you can give once a day dose with OHS. So different types of regimes are available for insulin. Now we have already explained insulin analog types. We should know what is insulin analog. Insulin analog will have same features of insulin, but there will be some changes in their amino acid chains from the regular insulin. So difference is amino acid chains are different from regular insulin. What is advantage? Advantage is these insulins are artificially generated. Other insulin like regular insulin will be human insulin or bovine insulin or some other insulin which is originated from other types of animals. The problem with animal insulin or human insulin, there will be high chance of antibody production due to long-term usage of this insulin. So when we are continuously using insulin for many years, the requirement slowly goes up. That is because of the antibodies are formed against insulin. So whenever we are injecting insulin, these antibodies try to neutralize the insulin before they act on the human body. So that can be avoided by insulin analogs. That is the advantage of insulin analog. They are very pure, artificially generated insulins, but they have same type of amino acids like our human insulin, but there may be some changes in the structure. So we have different types of insulin analogs. They are mainly insulin lispro, insulin aspart, insulin glulicin, insulin glargine, insulin detamar, and newest one is degludec. So these are the available insulins and insulin analogs in our country. So you can see here, for example, we are given a chart that the human insulin and insulin glargine, the difference is in the amino acid chains. So if you change the amino acids sequence, you can get different types of insulin, and their actions will be more or less same, but the duration, peak of action, onset of action, all can be different, and the antibody production against insulin analogs are not known. So that will be very useful or very safe to use this type of insulin when you are experiencing insulin resistance. Clinically, how can you know that insulin resistance is there in one patient? Means normally obesity, somebody is having acanthosis nigricans, or if the insulin requirement is more than 100 units per day, we have to suspect insulin resistance. In this type of patients, insulin analogs are better than human insulin. Otherwise, human insulins are very good. During the initial phase of diabetic management, it will be very useful. We already discussed about different types of analogs. They are insulin aspart, lispro, glulisin, Detimer, Glargine, Degludec, and a newer insulin which is inhaled insulin that is also available in some countries now. That one important insulin is ultra long acting insulin Glargine, and this can be used as a single insulin, single injection for the patient. It's like suppose we are giving regular insulin morning and afternoon and night. Suppose we are giving 10 units morning, 10 units afternoon, 10 units evening. That acts only maximum for 6 hours. But we need a basal insulin for continuous action. Some patients can, suppose during the treatment, if the patient develops an hyperglycemic episode, that should be prevented by a bolus insulin. That cannot be prevented by a basal bolus or long-acting insulin. In that condition, whenever patient develops hyperglycemia, we can give additional dose of short-acting insulin, but this insulin will continuously act in the body, and it will allow the patient to have normal food habits, and the peaks can be slightly reduced. So that is the advantage of this type of long-acting insulin, but they are not known to produce hypoglycemic attacks in these patients. So hypoglycemic attacks are not very common. You can see here Degludec and Glargine, you should see it is acting more than 24 hours. So one insulin Degludec or Glargine we can give in the night, and rapid insulins can be given before each meal. Now you can see here different types of regimes, short acting insulin, regular acting insulin, and NPH is the first picture. Morning, afternoon, evening we are giving regular insulin, night we are giving an NPH insulin. Like that we can have different types of regimens. Now premixed insulins are available in our country. So we have different types of premixed insulin, 30-70, 25-75, 50-50 insulins are available in our country. So that should be used for different types of patients. But somebody is having a high postprandial blood sugar value, we can try 50-50 insulin. That means 50 short acting, 50 long acting insulins. So we have discussed about different types of insulins and insulin regimes. Thank you.